Hey y'all, welcome to this bonus episode of the Ladies Pitch podcast. This is your girl Haiti Baby. I decided to to jump on and record an episode because I my mind feels so heavy, my heart feels so heavy. And you guys know, the avid listeners know that for the past 5 years that I've been podcasting and that I've been on the Ladies Pitch podcast, myself alongside with my co-hosts that I've had on here throughout the last 5 years, we we've always tried to keep it light on this podcast, keep it fun, keep it entertaining for the listeners. With our nonsense, with our humor, tackling day to day issues, whether it was funny, whether it was just ridiculous. That is for the most part the type of stuff that we targeted on this podcast. And we have a few episodes where the conversation was a little more heavy, and we engaged with one another. We had opposing views on certain things, on social topics and just personal experiences. But for the most part, 80% of the time, 85% of the time, we've kept it very light. And even solo episodes with just myself that I've been releasing lately, I've tried to keep it light. But with all the things that has been going on this week, and I'll tap into some of the things, that I've been coming across, I've just, my mind is just, I'm just so baffled. I'm just mind blown by some of the things that I have read from people that I know, from strangers, and I know, a lot of people say you shouldn't allow what strangers say to bother you. Some people are just ignorant. Some people just don't know, right? That's what ignorance is. Not having the knowledge, not having the experience, not knowing, being clueless to a lot of things or certain things, certain topics, certain experiences. But it just hurts me to know that there are people out there that think the way that they do. And of course, there's nothing that you can do or say, to kind of shift their way of thinking. They're stuck on their ways. They're stubborn, whatever the case is, right? That's life. You have to continue with your life, with your morals, with your values, and keep it moving, and just realizing that that's just the way those people are built, and they're built like that based off their own life experiences and their own encounters, right, with people and with obstacles that have come across their way. That's just what it is. But unfortunately, me being an empath, being a person that feels things so very deeply, whether it's a good thing, whether it's bad thing, just I feel things very deeply, and I am not ashamed to admit that about myself. That is just the way that I am. That is the way that I'm built. It is what it is, right? This week, if you guys are, on the socials, if you guys are on Beyonce's internet, you guys know that Diddy's trial started this week. Also, before I get into it, I just want to give a trigger warning to the listeners that in this episode, I am going to be quickly discussing my thoughts, my views on, some of the things that I've been reading regarding the Diddy trial. specifically the testimony that Cassie provided the courts, regarding the allegations against Diddy and the abuse that took place in the span of the years that she was with him. So I just want to provide that warning. I just want to let you guys know this episode is going to be, it's going to be triggering for those that are victims, survivors, whether you're a man, whether you're a woman, whether you're someone who shared your story and wasn't believed, whether you were brave enough to even share your story. So this case against Diddy, it's bigger than Cassie, right? They're just scratching the surface right now. This is only day 2, day 3 of this trial. So this is going to be going on for the next 6 to 8 weeks. And we're only a couple of days in. And it's nasty. It's disgusting. It's bigger than Cassie. Cassie is just one of many victims. So they're just scratching the surface. They're just preparing us right now for some of the vile shit that we're about to hear. Nasty, nasty work. I can't imagine what it's like to have to hold on to all of that pain and all of that trauma for so many years out of pure fear, out of being afraid that no one is going to believe you because your abuser is a man with money, with power, with the ability to destroy you. I can't imagine what that's like. But I'm going to start it off by reading a tweet that I came across my feed, unfortunately. I'm going to read it. I'm just going to tap in a little bit on my thoughts on this tweet. And it reads, "She should have left, but chose to stay for the lifestyle. I need women to be honest to themselves. Not saying she's not a victim, but she's complicit. Women should be honest with yourselves, please." Some of you are just so hard to defend because this is the type of fuckery that comes to mind and just comes out of your mouth. But hey, it's your right? That's your opinion. What I feel a lot of women are doing, they're projecting their feelings onto Cassie. You know why? Because they know that if they would have been in that position, they would have willingly stayed with their abuser for the money. So because they would have done that, they're quick to jump the gun and say, oh, she stayed because she was getting paid. He had money. She had the lifestyle. She was living the lifestyle that she, quote unquote, wanted. Because that's what they would have done. They're so morally compromised that that's what they would have done. Why didn't she leave? Did you guys not see the video of her attempting to leave? The hotel video? Where he violently attacked her as she waited for the elevator. She attempted to leave while he was taking a shower. He caught her, ran after her in his bath towel, and violently attacked her, threw her to the ground, kicked her multiple times. Did you guys not see that? When she tried to leave, he would have security follow her. He would stalk her. He had fucking Kid Cudi's car blown up, allegedly. Just being in a jealous rage. She feared him. Do you know what it is like to fear someone? To fear your abuser? Someone who coerced you, manipulated you, gaslit you to the extreme. I'm pretty sure he started this cycle of abuse by love bombing you, making you feel loved, making you feel safe, making you feel that you had a safe space with him, right? Because that's what we want, security. Women want to be loved. Women want to feel secure. I'm pretty sure all of it started that way. And it transcended to manipulation, verbal abuse. Because before it becomes physical, it always becomes verbal, mental. Then it becomes physical. She feared that man. When you look back on some of the interviews that she had where he was there, you can see it. The way he looks at her, you can see that he had her like a puppet on a string. These allegations towards Diddy have been ongoing for years. I could remember being a teenager and things were always being said. It was, it was kind of like covered up with jokes. But behind every joke is a truth. He's always been an evil person. I believe he got worse with time. When he noticed that he was getting away with it, it got worse. Absolutely. That is the way abusers work. That is the way they operate. That is how abuse works. Usually your abuser is very charming, very well liked, very well respected. He is that person that when someone comes forward and says something speaks their truth about them, people are like, no way. What? That man is cool. Your experience with that person has always been good because it's always been on a platonic level. You don't know what it's like to be romantically involved with this person. You don't know that dark side to them. You don't know what it's like to be behind closed doors to that person, with that person, excuse me. You don't know. She knew. She saw the darkest of the darkest hell of that man, every dark part of his soul. I don't even think he has a soul. But a man like that, his goal is to break you down, break your spirit, break you down mentally, emotionally. He wants you to be so codependent on him that you can't even picture your life without him. She didn't stay because she was weak. She stayed because that is how abuse works. It rewires your brain. Manipulation feels like love when that's all you've known from that person. Because sometimes survival means that you've got to endure the abuse in silence until you finally work up the courage to leave. It just bothers me how many people have this opinion and have all this, what they would do. Oh, if I was her, I would have left. Oh, because my ex-boyfriend, he yelled at me once and I was out the door and this and that. It's very easy. It's very easy to say what you would do if you was in that position. but you've never been. You don't know what it's like. The world is loud with judgment, but very quiet when it comes to accountability. So stop asking why she stayed. Start asking why this man was able to get away with this for so many years. The people that worked for him, the people that worked for her, the people who witnessed it firsthand, witnessed the abuse, the people who were told, the people who ignored her, who ignored all of the victims, all of Diddy's victims, who knew what was going on. But out of fucking fear of this man, they stayed quiet. They turned a blind eye. They minded their business. I'm telling you, it's disgusting. It is truly disgusting. Another thing that I'm so disgusted by are the people that are commenting saying that Cassie's husband should divorce her because she's a freak, and that level of freak, like, they would not be able, the man, I could never get past that level of freak. That shorty's just nasty. Shorty is this and shorty is that. Y'all are vile human beings. The fact that that can come out of your mouth, the fact that that can even be a thought in your brain, you can type that on a public platform and stand on that shit. You guys are just vile human beings. This woman was a sex slave. She was tormented. She was drugged. She was punished with extreme violence for many years. And the first thing that comes out of your mouth is, he should divorce her. Her husband should divorce her. I swear, a lot of y'all don't deserve shit. Y'all don't deserve none of the good things, the very little good things that this life has to offer. You don't deserve any of that shit. Who raised y'all? Who raised y'all? No one who is a victim of abuse is unlovable because of their trauma. They still deserve love. They deserve so much love. Victims often, they often share their stories not because they're scared. They're living with all this confusion, this pain, this tension, that they don't know what to do with. They're drowning in life. On the outside, they look happy, and on the inside, they're slowly dying. Validating them, and it allows them to believe that they are safe, that they have a safe space. And when you victim shame, all you're doing is increasing their pain. You're giving them more to heal from. A traumatized person, they're not seeking attention. They're seeking safety. They're sharing their story. They're trying to make sense of the chaos that they're living with, that's living within them. And they're seeking validation, not to fix the pain, but it's showing them, the validation is showing them that they're not alone. And you shaming them, you blaming them, is only deepening the wounds. I can't imagine I can't imagine all of this that like Cassie is probably, I'm pretty sure she's protecting her peace, I would hope so, protecting her mental health. She's 8.5 months pregnant, but she also has children. She's married. She has a husband. I hope and I pray that they're all just protecting their mental health at this time, because some of the most disgusting things that are being said by some of the people, I'm more than sure is deeply, deeply hurtful to her as the victim who endured all of this. If you want to show support, if you want to show love to someone who has a history of abuse, whether it happened 10, 20 years ago, some of those things, it takes something like this to be all over social media, to be all over the blogs, to be, on your phone every time you go on the web. The first thing you see on Google is this, this trial. And it can be triggering. It can, reopen old wounds. The best thing you could do to support a victim is to listen. Hold a safe space for them. Remind them that they're not broken, they're healing. That's real support. The ability to be able to try to understand, to effectively respond to the situation. Try to comprehend. And then make an informed decision. There's no situational awareness. We need to do better. We really do. It really does hurt me. It saddens me. It's just reading all of these thoughts and opinions that all of these people have. I commend the victims so much. I give you a big hug, all of you. If I had, my arms were big enough, I'd wrap them around everyone and just tell you that me, Haiti, I admire you. I encourage you to tell your story, speak your truth. That takes so much fucking courage. It's inspiring. And it's just so disappointing to know that a lot of these things that are being said, these vile comments, are coming from women, mothers. Mothers who have daughters, fathers who have daughters, mothers. It's just so sad. I pray that you never personally have to endure this level of abuse, or that your kids are never victims to this kind of wickedness, or ever have to be in the company of such an evil person, because it's just nasty, nasty, nasty. Those are my thoughts. I wanted to come on here and just share with you guys just my feelings, my thoughts, and kind of just lift this like heavy feeling that I have off of me. And hopefully this episode touches someone to just show a little bit more love, a little bit more compassion. If they know someone that's currently in this situation, that has recently been in this situation, or has been in this situation in the past. Or if you never have, hopefully you'll be a bit more mindful for how you talk, or how you approach, or how you deal with someone in this situation in the future, if you ever come across someone that has endured this level of abuse, or any type of abuse. If anyone would ever like to talk, just needs a person to listen, a person to show support, and yeah, just be that person, that safe space. My DMs are always open. Thank you guys for tuning in. I will see you next time. Peace.